Your immediate environment has a huge impact on your creativity and even productivity, which is why it's important to be intentional about your space, especially as a content creator. You want a space where you can have your creative juices flowing. In this video, I am going to be sharing with you tips to help you in your apartment hunt. You don't even have to be a content creator. If you're just someone who's looking for a safe space that fosters productivity, this video is for you. Let's get to it. Hey, good to see you again. And if you're here for the first time, my name is Moyo and nice to meet you. In this corner of the internet, I share various things from styling tips to personal development and just my day-to-day lifestyle. Thank you for stopping by and let's get to today's video. First things first, you need to think about your budget. How much are you willing to spend on an apartment? You have to narrow this down, and when coming up with a budget, it's important that you think about the whole picture. Think about recurring costs and one-time fees. Of course, you have recurring costs like your rent, utilities, and when you're thinking about one-time fees, you have some apartment complexes will charge application fees, administrative fees, and your security deposit. So those are the things that you should put in mind when you're coming up with a budget. What fits your pocket? Don't overstretch yourself. Just be realistic with what you're able to afford on a day-to-day basis, and then incorporate that into your planning. After you have come up with your budget, then you start to think, what can my budget get me? Is it a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom? Whatever your budget, just do a little bit of a research to kind of see what your budget can get you, and then you can start looking for an apartment. If you're someone who values productivity or a space that allows you to be creative, here are some things to keep in mind to put on your list when looking for an apartment, of course after you've come up with a budget. The first thing you want to put on your list as a creative or someone that just wants to foster productivity is a place that has a lot of natural lighting. Think large windows. Try to figure out what the direction of the sunrise and the sunset is to try to picture what your apartment is going to look like when you're actually living there. It's usually best to visit the apartment in person to get a feel of what this natural lighting is going to look like. So think about it when you're looking for apartments. Just look out for large windows, direction of the sunrise, sunset, and so on, and that would kind of give you a picture of how bright the apartment is going to be when you start living in it. The second thing you want to pay attention to when looking for an apartment as a content creator is neutral interiors. What I mean by that is your paints. Try to find a place with neutral interiors because it's usually easier for you to add some decorations to suit your theme, and maybe if you have an Instagram, you want a particular feed look, then it's usually best when you're starting off with a neutral paint, so that way it's easier for you to kind of get to where you want to be, to alter things in different ways and to make it yours basically. The neutral paint also kind of complements whatever decor you do decide to do, so it helps to start off neutral so you can take it up the notch to wherever you want it to be. Now for this third point, if your budget allows for this, try to look out for some nice aesthetics within the apartment. What do I mean by this? So hardwood style flooring is a nice aesthetics that usually comes out really good in pictures or videos or whatever content you're going to be creating that you want to make visually pleasing. Also think about granite countertops, recessed lighting. Recessed lighting is so important because it helps with just bringing that soft tone to your pictures and your videos. So the place with recessed lighting is usually the type of lighting that is glued to the ceiling, so it kind of creates this diffused lighting for your pictures and your content. So try to think about it. Some apartments would have this and it would not be additional cost. Some apartments would have like an upgrade for you to pick from, and that could most likely mean extra cost. So just try to think about it. It's okay if you're not able to get those, you can still make things work, but if you can, perfect. So now that you kind of know what you want, you have an idea of things to look out for. Now to the fun part. Time to start looking for apartments. This is my favorite part, obviously. I love going to look at apartments in person and just kind of visualize what it's going to look like for me to live there. It's usually helpful to have a website where you can narrow down your options, especially if you live in a big city. You have tons of apartments to pick from, so it's usually easier to just go through that website and see if you can narrow down the options by what you want. Some of the websites that have helped me in my search in the past, I have rent.com, apartments.com, and apartmentfinder.com. So all of these, I usually download the app on my phone or go on my laptop to search through. These websites that I've mentioned usually have tons and tons of filters to pick from, so you can narrow down your options to bedroom, apartment size, even down to the features that you want, like the hardwood floor, granite countertops, and so on. You can filter down to those options, so that way you have less. You wouldn't have to go through like hundreds of apartments before you find what you want. So you narrow down your options, and after you've narrowed down your options, you can start to go on the individual apartment websites to see what their visuals look like. Of course, it is always better to visit in person. Go in person if you can. And with COVID right now, a lot of apartments also offer live virtual tours, so maybe FaceTime or Zoom or something. They actually take you through on video without you having to be there, so you can make use of that if you don't feel comfortable going in person. So just try to view it before you put anything down or you make any commitments with any apartment. During your home viewing tours, make sure to ask questions. This is most likely going to be your home for the next year. A lot of apartment complexes tie you down to a contract for about a year. You can go less, but the standard is usually a year. So it's important that you ask questions. Ask as much questions as possible. Take notes and kind of look out for little things that might be a problem after you move in. It's important to do that, because sometimes you overlook certain things and then you move in and it becomes a huge problem. Watch out for noise. Watch out for sketchy things about the apartment. If security is a problem for you, watch out for that to see if the area is secure enough. So it's important to be very vigilant. Go with your full self, pay attention, and don't just be in a hurry to get an apartment. Of course, if you have time for this, it's always helpful to do that, which is why I try to give myself enough time to go apartment hunting so I don't make a decision in a rush. Alright, that's it folks. That's all I have for you. I hope this has been helpful for you if you're looking for an apartment, you're trying to move into a new place. I hope some of these tips come in handy in your search, and I wish you all the best. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have any further questions or you'd like me to talk more about my own personal experience with my apartment search. As many of you know, I recently moved into my new apartment. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and talk to you guys soon. Bye.